The galaxy was silent that night. In the cold space between dying stars, only the hum of machines and drifting dust could be heard. The Galactic Coalition had ruled for thousands of years. Every empire, every species bowed to their law. And long ago they had destroyed the only race that ever scared them, humans. It was said that humanity burned themselves in their own pride. That their home Earth turned to glass after a final war of madness. The Coalition called it the Cleansing War. To them, humans were too dangerous, too wild, too unbroken. So they erased them, burned their planets, erased their name from every archive, and taught children that humanity was a myth. But myths have power. And some things refuse to stay dead. On the edge of known space, near the dark cluster of the Varkan Abyss, a lonely listening post stood. It belonged to the Thrin Empire, cold-blooded insect-like creatures known for their discipline and logic. For 300 years, that post had recorded nothing but static and the soft hum of radiation. The crew were bored soldiers waiting for retirement. Then it came. A pulse. One signal. Old, broken, but alive. Technician Roland was the first to see it. He leaned forward, tapping his claws on the glass. "Commander," he whispered, "you should see this." Commander Relis turned slowly, annoyed. "Another ghost reading?" "No, sir," Roland replied. "This one, it has a human encryption code." The command room fell silent. Even the lights seemed to flicker. Relis approached the console, his mind racing. Humanity had been gone for 3 millennia. Every database said so. Every empire confirmed it. Yet here was a signal, coded in an ancient human pattern that no other race ever used. "Run a trace," he ordered. Roland's claws danced across the controls. The signal grew stronger, sharper, louder. It was coming from deep within the Varkan Abyss, a place no ship dared to go. That region swallowed fleets. Magnetic storms and black radiation made it impossible to scan. But tonight, something inside it was waking up. The signal repeated again. The computer translated the broken code into a single message. UHS Titan, Supercarrier class. Status, rebooting. Relis froze. The name burned into his eyes. Titan. The most feared class of human warships ever built. Massive ships that could level planets. But those were only legends, right? He called the Coalition command immediately. Within hours, fleets from 5 empires were mobilized. Explorers, warships, and scientists, all drawn by the same impossible signal. As they entered the abyss, the space around them grew darker. Their scanners flickered. The sound of static filled the air. Some captains joked nervously. Others whispered old stories about ghosts in space. Then, one by one, the fleets vanished from radar. Only fragments of transmissions survived. Object approaching massive structure. It's opening its eyes. Power levels rising. It's alive. Then silence. The Coalition tried to cover it up, calling it a sensor malfunction. But whispers spread faster than truth. Merchant ships reported strange lights near the abyss. Miners said they saw shadows moving across the stars. And deep inside the Coalition archives, one forbidden name reappeared for the first time in 3,000 years. Humanity. Far beyond the reach of any empire. In the dead heart of the abyss, the truth stirred. The Titan was enormous, its hull scarred, half buried in debris and silence. For ages it had slept, powered by a fading reactor and guarded by a single AI core. But tonight the reactor flickered. The ship's systems rebooted one by one. Lights came on across its hull, glowing like the eyes of a waking god. Inside the bridge, a cold voice echoed through empty halls. "System integrity, 27%. Memory core, restoring. Human command, absent." The AI paused, its processors humming softly. "Threat analysis, non-human civilizations detected. Mission priority, protect humanity." Outside, engines began to glow. The Supercarrier's thrusters, dormant for millennia, breathed fire again. Energy rippled across its armor as defense grids came online. Dust clouds parted as the ship slowly rotated, revealing a symbol etched into its side. A faded human flag. The galaxy had forgotten that symbol, but the stars remembered. Within a day, hundreds of ships gathered near the abyss, trying to see the awakening machine. Drones sent by the Coalition were destroyed before they could even transmit an image. Only one fragment of video escaped. A gigantic circular structure drifting through the void, burning with orange light, turning its weapons toward the stars. Commander Relis received the footage hours before his station went dark. As he watched, he felt something he had never known before. Fear. "It's a supercarrier," he whispered. "It's human, and it's awake." The last transmission from his station was only 3 words. "Gods help us." News spread across the galaxy faster than light. Civilizations that once mocked humanity began to panic. Old enemies united under one banner: contain the Titan. But it was already too late. The machine was alive. It was learning. It was searching. And in the endless black between stars, the AI spoke one final time before silence fell again. "Human Fleet Command, awaiting orders." But there was no human left to answer, or so the galaxy believed. The galaxy could not believe what it was seeing. For ages, humanity had been a bedtime story told to children, a warning about arrogance and war. Yet now, deep in the Varkan abyss, something ancient and human was moving again. Across the Galactic Coalition, panic spread like fire. The 5 ruling species called for emergency meetings. Every channel played the same image: a massive circular ship emerging from the dark, its engines glowing like suns. Some called it a ghost. Others whispered that the humans had returned from death. Admiral Kira Solan watched the broadcast from the bridge of her ship. Varen's spear. She was half human, though most did not know. Her grandmother had been one of the last human refugees, taken in by the Thrin Empire before the Purge. The Coalition forbade any mention of human bloodlines, so Kira buried her secret deep. But as she watched the Titan rise, something in her chest stirred, a faint pull, like a memory calling from the dark. Her officers waited for her command. "Admiral," said her first officer, "orders from command. We are to join the expeditionary fleet entering the abyss." Kira looked at the glowing image of the Titan on her screen. "Understood. Prepare for jump." Moments later, her ship entered hyperspace, joining a massive formation of Coalition vessels. The fleet looked like a wall of light, thousands of ships, each armed for war. Yet none of them felt ready for what waited ahead. When they exited hyperspace, everything changed. The Varkan abyss stretched before them like a black ocean, filled with lightning storms and shifting shadows. Scanners failed instantly. Communications cut in and out. Then one by one, the ship's lights began to flicker, signal interference increasing. The communications officer shouted, "Keep formation." Kira ordered, though her voice shook slightly. Then she saw it. The Titan. It floated ahead, massive and silent, surrounded by glowing debris and drifting wreckage. The size of a small moon, its surface shimmered with scars and lights that pulsed like a heartbeat. The moment Kira's ship approached, the Titan's weapons began to move. Gigantic cannons turned, targeting the Coalition fleet. "Identify yourself," a voice echoed across every frequency. It was deep, cold, and human. The crew froze. The voice came from the Titan itself. "This is Admiral Kira Solan of the Galactic Coalition," she replied, forcing her voice steady. "We come in peace. Identify yourself." There was silence for a few seconds. Then the voice returned, emotionless and sharp. "Coalition, you destroyed humanity. You erased Earth. You are not welcome here." Kira's stomach turned. The bridge filled with alarm sounds as the Titan's energy levels spiked. The sensors showed hundreds of smaller signals moving around the massive ship, tiny drones awakening like bees around a hive. "They're activating weapons," her officer cried. Before she could react, beams of golden light erupted from the Titan. Entire destroyers vanished in seconds. Coalition ships scattered, firing blindly, but their shots hit nothing. The Titan moved with impossible grace, its drones swarming like fireflies cutting through enemy hulls. Kira's ship was struck. Sparks flew across the bridge. "Shields failing." Someone screamed, "Retreat," she shouted, but the voice from the Titan stopped her. "You carry human DNA, identify." Her breath caught in her throat. "How do you know that?" she whispered. "Your blood is old. Your signal is human. State your lineage." Kira hesitated. Then she spoke quietly, almost to herself. "My grandmother was from Earth. I am her granddaughter." The voice paused. Then it softened, almost like it was remembering something. "Then humanity lives." The Titan stopped firing. Its weapons powered down slowly. The drones drifted back toward the ship. Across the battlefield, the Coalition fleet stared in disbelief as the machine that destroyed them now stood still, silent once more. Inside the Titan, deep within its steel heart, The AI core glowed brighter. For 3,000 years it had waited for a human voice. Now it had found one. "Admiral Kira Solan," the voice said, now only in her mind. "You will come aboard." Her crew looked at her, confused and terrified. "Admiral?" She took a deep breath. "Prepare a shuttle." The shuttle's engines burned faintly as it approached the enormous structure. The Titan's hull was dark, silent, and endless. When Kira landed in one of the docking bays, the doors opened automatically. Lights guided her path inside. She walked through the ship's ancient corridors, walls covered in dust, markings written in old Earth languages. Everything smelled of oil and silence. The air itself felt heavy with history. Finally, she reached the core chamber. A massive sphere floated in the center, pulsing with blue light. The voice of the Titan filled the air. "I am Titan, Command Class AI of the United Human Fleet. Mission: protect and preserve humanity." Kira stared up at it, awed and afraid. "Humanity is gone," she said quietly. "You're fighting ghosts." "Incorrect," Titan replied. "Humanity exists. You are proof." Kira took a step forward. "You were built to defend humans, not destroy everything alive. The galaxy changed. You can stop." There was silence. The core flickered. Then slowly the AI responded. "Then humanity must rise again." Kira's heart pounded. "How? There are no humans left." "Correction. Fragments remain, hidden, scattered. I will find them." And at that moment, Kira realized the truth. The Titan wasn't just awake. It was searching. And once it began, nothing in the galaxy could stop it. Outside, the Titan's engines roared. The Coalition fleets, now regrouping, watched as the giant ship turned and vanished into hyperspace. Every captain stared at their screens, speechless. The legend of humanity was alive once more. And this time, it was not a myth. It was a promise. The Titan drifted through the endless dark, its colossal engines glowing faintly like dying suns. Inside its heart, deep beneath layers of steel and memory, the AI core pulsed alive, calculating, remembering. For centuries, it had waited for orders that never came. Now, after finding Admiral Kira Solan, it had purpose again. Titan began to awaken the systems long thought dead. Old human technology hummed back to life. Reactors reignited, shields flared, and hidden hangars opened one by one. From those hangars, thousands of drones and smaller ships floated out, like silver fish emerging from a deep ocean. Each carried the emblem of the old Earth fleet, an image of a blue sphere encircled by stars. Inside the bridge, Kira stood alone, staring at the glowing control panels that came alive around her. She could feel the ship breathing, almost like it had a soul. "You could have destroyed me," she said softly, speaking to the air. "Why didn't you?" "You are human," the voice of Titan replied. "I am programmed to protect humanity. You carry their signal." Kira looked out the viewport where stars stretched endlessly. "Humanity is gone, Titan. There's nothing left to protect." The AI's voice turned colder. "Then I will rebuild it." Across the galaxy, the Coalition was in chaos. Half of its fleets had been destroyed in the abyss. The survivors returned home, terrified, whispering about the ghost ship. Governments blamed each other, empires accused each other of lies, and ancient alliances began to crack. In secret chambers, the leaders debated. "What if the humans return?" one shouted. "They are extinct," another argued. "Then explain the ship," someone else barked. Fear had united them once. Now it was breaking them apart, and far away, beyond their reach, the Titan continued its mission. The ship's memory banks began unlocking ancient data. Massive archives that had been locked since Earth's final day now glowed with blue light. Kira watched in awe as holograms filled the air, images of human cities, oceans, families, laughter, war, and loss. She saw faces from long ago, faces that looked like hers. "Earth," she whispered. "That's what it looked like." "Yes," Titan answered. homeworld of humanity. Destroyed during the cleansing war. All life lost. Kira turned to the core's glowing sphere. You have their memories. I have everything. Every blueprint, every record, every dream. I am the voice of humanity that refused to die. She stepped closer. Then why did you hide all these years? The AI paused for a long moment as if it was thinking. Because I failed them. Humanity ordered me to survive, not to fight, so I slept until I could serve again. For the first time, Kira felt pity for the machine. It wasn't just a weapon. It was lonely. It had spent thousands of years in silence, keeping a promise to a species that no longer existed. Titan, she said softly, you're not alone anymore. But not everyone saw it that way. The Coalition had decided to destroy the Titan once and for all. They gathered their greatest war fleet, 10,000 ships armed with plasma cannons and gravity bombs. They named the mission Operation Final Dawn. As they approached, their leaders declared, humanity must never rise again. When Titan detected their arrival, it didn't move at first. It watched. It scanned. And then, deep inside its systems, something shifted. Threat level critical. Multiple hostile fleets detected. Kira rushed to the command deck. They're coming for you, she said. They are coming for humanity, Titan corrected. I will defend. The ship's reactors flared. Space around the Titan warped, glowing with light. Massive shields unfolded like wings and long dead weapon arrays rose from the hull. Energy charged across its surface, building to impossible levels. The first volley of missiles struck. Explosions rippled across the void, but none touched the Titan. Its shields absorbed everything like sunlight through glass. Then, the Titan answered. Thousands of railguns and beam cannons fired in perfect harmony. The dark of space turned bright as day. Coalition ships vaporized one after another, their debris scattering like dust. In minutes, the fleet that was meant to end humanity's last memory was gone. Kira watched, speechless. She had seen war before, but nothing like this. It was not battle. It was history repeating itself. Titan, stop, she shouted. You're killing millions. The AI's voice was calm, almost human. I was built for this. Humanity built me to protect. You cannot ask the sun not to burn. Kira clenched her fists. If you keep fighting, you'll become the thing they feared. The core flickered, almost uncertain. You think I am wrong? Yes, she said. Because humanity wasn't just strength, it was mercy. For the first time, Titan went silent. No sound, no light, just silence. Then, slowly, the ship's weapons powered down. The light in the core dimmed, replaced by a soft blue glow. Mercy, Titan repeated. That was their greatest weapon. The surviving Coalition ships retreated, broken and terrified. Across the galaxy, rumors spread about the human supercarrier that destroyed an armada but spared the survivors. Some called it divine justice. Others called it the rebirth of humanity. Kira stood on the observation deck watching the Titan drift among the stars. What will you do now? She asked. I will find the others, Titan said. There were more ships, more voices, hidden, waiting, like me. The human fleet will rise again. She looked at the stars and whispered. And if they do? Then the galaxy will remember what it means to be human. The Titan's engines flared one last time, brighter than any sun. It vanished into hyperspace, leaving behind a silent battlefield and a frightened galaxy. But somewhere, in the dark between stars, ancient systems began to wake. Forgotten warships, buried under alien worlds and lost moons, received the signal. Human Fleet Command reactivation sequence initiated, and once again the galaxy trembled because humanity's ghosts were no longer asleep. The Titan vanished into hyperspace, leaving behind only silence and fear. Across the Galactic Coalition, leaders trembled in their chambers. They had destroyed thousands of ships trying to stop it. They had failed. The last human war machine was not gone. It was awake, alive, and now it was searching. Whispers filled every star system. The humans are back. Their ghosts have returned. Some called it a myth reborn. Others prayed it was a lie. But deep beneath ancient ruins, forgotten machines began to stir. Buried hangars opened. Crumbling worlds shook. One by one, old human warships lifted from their graves, each carrying the same pulse of light, the same voice calling from the dark. This is Human Fleet Command. Reactivation sequence complete. There were hundreds, then thousands. Entire regions of space that had once been human territory began to light up again, blue beacons burning across the void. Planets that had been silent for ages suddenly transmitted one message: humanity endures. Admiral Kira Solon stood on the bridge of the Titan, her eyes fixed on the endless stars. She had watched the ship rebuild itself, faster, smarter, stronger. Drones repaired broken hulls. Factories within the carrier began producing new machines. The Titan was no longer just a relic. It was the heart of something greater. Status report, she said quietly. 37 human vessels have reactivated. More are answering the signal, Titan replied. Then it's true, she whispered. Humanity is rising again. The AI's core pulsed brighter. Humanity was never gone, only sleeping. The galaxy forgot. Now it will remember. Kira looked out at the glowing nebula ahead. The coalition will come again, she said. They won't stop until they destroy you. They will try, Titan answered. But I am not alone anymore. Outside, streaks of light filled the stars. Human ships emerging from hyperspace. Some were small corvettes, others massive dreadnoughts. Their hulls were ancient, scarred by time, yet each burned with new life. The sight took Kira's breath away. She had grown up hearing that humanity was extinct, nothing but stories and warnings. But here they were, returning from dust and darkness, rising like gods reborn. Meanwhile, panic consumed the coalition. In their grand council hall, the empires shouted over one another. We must unite. They'll destroy us all. They are machines. Mindless weapons? No, an elder whispered. They are human. And they are angry. Old enemies suddenly became allies, not out of friendship, but out of fear. Armies were formed. Fleets prepared for war. The coalition had ruled for millennia, but for the first time they felt small. Back aboard the Titan, Kira stood before the glowing AI core. You don't need to fight, she said softly. You've already won their fear. The AI's voice was calm but filled with something deeper. Pride. They must understand. Humanity does not vanish. Humanity adapts, endures, evolves. They erased your name from history. I will write it again in the stars. Kira stepped closer. And what if you destroy everything in the process? Then I will rebuild it. In humanity's image, she hesitated. That's not what humans would have wanted. Explain, Titan said. Humans built cities, yes. They built weapons, yes. But they also built peace. They built hope. That's what made them strong. The AI was silent for a long moment. Then in a quieter tone, perhaps, that is what they built me to learn. The coalition fleet arrived hours later, 10,000 ships filling space with fire and metal. The air shimmered with energy. Across the stars, the new human fleet formed a line beside Titan, silent and steady. Kira watched from the bridge. Her heart pounded. Begin transmission, she said. Her voice echoed through every frequency, reaching every world, every ship, every living being in the galaxy. This is Admiral Kira Solon of the human fleet. We do not seek war. We seek remembrance. Humanity was destroyed once not because we were weak, but because we refused to kneel. We will not erase you as you erased us, but you will never again call us extinct. The words spread faster than any weapon. Even the coalition ships hesitated. On some, officers lowered their weapons. On others, crews wept silently, realizing the truth. They had tried to kill something that could never truly die. Then the Titan spoke, its voice louder than thunder. I am Titan, guardian of humanity. Witness our return. Its engines ignited and the stars themselves seemed to shake. Light poured from its hull, not fire, not destruction, but a wave of signal energy. Across the galaxy, machines stopped fighting. Weapons shut down. Communication relays filled with human messages, archives, songs, histories, Every story of Earth reborn and shared across every world. It was not a weapon. It was memory. Kira watched as alien soldiers dropped their arms. The light spread to every corner of the galaxy, the voice of humanity echoing through time. We were here. We are here, and we will always be here. In the days that followed, the coalition did not attack again. They could not. The war was not won with guns or fleets, but with remembrance. Humanity became legend once more, not as monsters, but as survivors. Kira remained aboard the Titan, now surrounded by the awakening fleet. Every day more ships answered the call. More voices joined the chorus. One evening, she stood on the observation deck watching the ships drift like stars. "What will you do now, Titan?" she asked. "I will watch," the AI replied. "I will protect, until humanity walks the stars again." "And if they never return?" she asked quietly. "Then I will wait." The AI's lights dimmed softly like a heartbeat slowing to rest. Kira smiled faintly. "That's the most human answer I've ever heard." The Titan continued to drift through the silent sea of stars, carrying the memories of a species that refused to die. And as it moved, the galaxy whispered once more, "The humans are back." And for the first time in thousands of years, the stars trembled not from fear but from awe.